Hello everyone to Tonbridge Comic Con, are we all having a good time?
Oh yeah!
Woo! Woo! Are we all having a fantastic time? Yeah!
Today we have Ian McNeice, Sally Mortemore, Simon Fisher-Becker, Christopher Patrick Nolan, Alan Harris, and Jason Yeboah.
Most of you know, I'm Simon Fisher-Becker, better known as Dorian Moldovar of Doctor Who and the Fat Friar in Harry Potter.
My name is Ian McNeice, Winston Churchill in Victory of the Daleks in Matt Smith.
Do you mean in film? Yeah. Probably the horror film I did last year, which is old. But the best one is going down the page.
It's very difficult really, because if you can ask for your best film, it may not necessarily be the best known film. So the prestige, of course, is Harry Potter. But I did a very funny little film called Beg, in which I was told that the characterization I had to think about for my character, Dr. Bob, was a pig. And we had some movement directed of it, and we all had to pretend to be the animal that we resembled. So I spent 3 days snorting. So Beg was a really, really good film, but it didn't go anywhere in the box office, whereas Harry Potter is still paying very handsome royalties. Thank you very much.
I made a movie with Jim Carrey called Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, which is a terrific movie. I did White Noise with Michael Keaton. I did Day of the Dead, which is a zombie movie, which I loved doing in Bulgaria, of all places. And I did From Hell with Johnny Depp, I think another one, yep. And The Englishman Who Went Up a Hill and Came on a Mountain with Hugh Grant. That was a sweet movie that I did. So there's a few there to think of, and many more, I'm afraid.
Following on from what Nolan is saying, how do you guys compare to the world? How do you get into characters given a new script?
I think of the money that I'm going to get at the end of the movie.
That's not necessarily the case with me, because maybe I won't get very much at the end of the movie. But Harry Potter is fantasy, yeah. How do I compare? I think about it. It's actually like, a lot of actors write things down endlessly, but I don't. It tends to just go around in my head all the time, and then I come up with certain answers and some non-answers as well.
Any budding screenwriters, from an actor's perspective, keep your instructions very short and to the point. It makes it a lot easier for us. So, for example, Dorian, when I went for the audition, they just said, large blue man, think Sydney Greenstreet. So anyone who knows Sydney Greenstreet, he was a very large gentleman as well, and he was in one of my favourite films, Casablanca, and he was a sort of black marketeer. And so I just visualised, I didn't do an impersonation of, but I visualised how Sydney Greenstreet appears on screen, and that's what I thought of with Dorian. And being a large person, the slightest movement you make really is exaggerated on screen. So I deliberately keep myself still, and for Dorian, that just added gravitas to it as well.
A microphone on a string's always handy, isn't it, for these things? We've got the technology. Have you got the next question, Michael? Oh, I haven't really thought. What is your favourite dinner?
A serious question now.
best way that you engage with your fans at Comic Cons? Do you like to just chat with them? And
Don't worry, we'll help you out.
Yeah, how do you, when you've got somebody scary coming towards you, how do you cope with it?
Do you know what's interesting is that several people have come up today and they mention things that you've been in, and it really is like drowning, because your life suddenly appears before you. All these things that you've done years ago, they suddenly mention something and they go, oh my God, I remember doing that. So it's fantastic. And really, I mean, coming to conventions, Simon and I have been lucky to have been all over the world with them, in Australia, America, and it never gets stale, because there are always people who are so keen to come up and see you. I mean, already today people have said, oh, we were so hoping we wouldn't cancel you and be here. And that is such a huge buzz for us, that there are people who are really keen to want to come and meet us at conventions. And especially in smaller places like this, we've been to venues where there are 60, 70,000 people there, huge venues, smaller ones like this. And it never gets old, it never gets scary, because there's always new people. Always new people who want to come up and meet you, which is good.
This Comic-Con circuit is quite new to me, and it's really lovely to be here in Tonbridge, in such a small, initiating, friendly places coming to meet you, and it's really lovely to have a chat with you. I don't think people will ever remember any stage work we've done, which is a lot. Yeah, but I remember you can have it. That's lovely.
Well, I'm personally very conscious that if it wasn't for the fans, I wouldn't be here. So I always like to come out and go to places in person, so I can look them in the eye and say thank you for my new bath. But you were asking if there are any scary moments. I mean, Ian definitely. Because some of the fans really do find out things about you that you've completely forgotten. And then they would say something and some little key will open in your head. And you'll go, oh yes. And as Ian says, I'm thinking, I did that nearly 30 years ago. Well, how did they try that? You know, the internet wasn't what it was, that it is today. But, so that is scary. But it's actually, most people are utterly delightful. I love the cosplays, and you can see some of the time and effort and money they put into their costumes, and it's much appreciated.
Simon has something that I admire his pluck for doing this, quite frankly, but he has on his Facebook account over 5,000 friends, and they're basically people from conventions who have said, will you befriend me, Simon? And he never says no to them. So he collects all these fans from all over the world, basically so he can have tea with them when he turns up in their neighborhood and says, he contacts them and says, I'm coming. And they take him out. They meet him at plane stations, they meet him at train stations, they take him out on little trips. This happened in Australia, it happened in America, and it will probably happen around Maidstone if he stays much longer. But it's extraordinary the way that he's done that. All power to him.
Is there any future work that you're doing you're allowed to talk about?
Well, for the last 10 years I've been making a series called Doc Martin, and luckily we've got another one coming, which is great, in April of next year, which will be another 8 episodes about charming little series in Cornwall that has kept me going, and my demographic is 60 to 70, so there's a lot of people here that age who probably watch the show, which is great. That's me.
Something on the dance floor. Something new. There's a new Harry Potter game coming out on Wednesday. I voiced McNeice for that, so I actually have an avatar, which I'm really excited about. Came out completely out of the blue. So yeah, look out for the new Harry Potter game. It's a Hogwarts mystery game, the mobile game, out on Wednesday.
I will be filming a pilot for a new comedy series called Starring Gary Grant. The basis of it is that the main character is a stand-up comic in the evening and a traffic warden during the day. And I'm one of the traffic wardens with him, so we'll be doing that within the next few weeks. You said, is there something else I'm doing that I can't tell you about? And yes, I've got 2 of those coming up, so we'll find out in a good time. So if you're a Facebook friend, I will announce it when we're allowed to announce it.
Have we got any questions in our audience? Hello, young man.
So, how did you get into this business? I mean, were you picked as a musician, for example? Sally, when you played in the Harry Potter role, I can't remember seeing your crystals or characters on the flat screen. You were the librarian. We've seen the library a few times in Sorcerer's Stone, but you're not already. You're like the dinner tables in the Great Hall.
So how did you get into it?
I had to go from casting to casting, and they videoed me and sent it off to Chris Columbus. They said they'd let me know within a week, but come 5 weeks later, I still haven't heard anything, and I was going off to the Optical Metropolitan to go to Southeast for Christmas. So eventually they called and said, well, I just need still need a customer. And I had to do an audition with all the producers playing the children, which was hysterical. So yeah, so off I went to Bolton, I paid for smoking, I got the job for Harry, and I had to come down for costume fitting. That was good. And then I went straight into filming for 6 months. There's not much left of me on the show. Yeah, I was contracted for the next 2 films as well, as I fell apart. I'm not going to say why, but for 2 years I was going to leave the industry. Then I picked myself up, and thank God I did. Because I'm still here and still making movies.
Round of applause, everyone.
They were so lovely. I can't tell you, it was such a relief to be with them. Yeah, when I went down to Bath to shoot, they just made me feel so welcome. Emma was delighted, and so was Daniel. Then I had about a month off, and Daniel had suddenly become a teenager when I went back, even though he wasn't quite there yet. And it was like, oh, we just talked about girls, which was a bit of a shock.
How I got the role as I went to 4 auditions. The first one there was 20 of us, and then they whittled it down to 13, and then down to 7, I think it was. And then I was the last 3, and that's when we met the big team. And then eventually I was chosen. But like you, it was ages and ages and ages. So by the time they said yes, it was more of a about bloody time rather than an excitement. And also contracts for the first 4 films. And we did a lot of stuff over many weeks, including Rick Mail playing Ease the Poltergeist. Yeah, and he doesn't make an appearance. And we did the Death Day Party, which doesn't appear. We did a load of stuff. But most of it was thrown away for whatever reason. But the Fat Friar does cling on for a few seconds in the sorting ceremony. And I make a joke of it now that my name in the credits is on screen longer than I am. And that is the existence of a lovey. But the money's good.
Have we got any more audience questions?
We can take one more.
What does performing feel like?
Well, it depends in what medium, really. I mean, first of all, the fact you've got a job is exhilarating, right? On stage, you can actually sense the mood of an audience, and you can definitely tell whether they like you or not. You can definitely tell whether they like your character or not. And it is exciting. And of course, on stage, once we start, there's no stopping it. You just have to keep going. So that's the excitement and the thrill of that. And in television nowadays, things can be quite quick, especially if you end up in a soap. You know, you're lucky if you get 2 takes or something. Film, they have a little more time, and it is exciting, and it is exciting watching everybody work as a team. And then when you've got grey hair like I have, you then start meeting up with old chums that you worked with in the past. So there's a lot of green room banter, but just like any other job really, you're expected to turn up, know your lines, and just do the job. Because filming and television is a very technical medium, and so that's what's given the priority. And the performer has to therefore try and be perfect every take, because you're not, unless you're a big name, you're not really important. That's what I would say.
So it's quite exciting.
I did, just to say that in my early years, in my 20s and 30s, I did a lot of theatre, and then I stopped because I had kids, and theatre pays very badly, so I started to try and do more television and film, which I did then for 20, 30 years. I didn't do any theatre, stopped altogether, until about 5 or 6 years ago, when my agent rang and said, look, there's an opera photography, and I went, oh, that's great. And she said, hang on, it's a theatre job. I went, oh, no, I don't do theatre. She said, hang on a minute, it's a national theatre, which was great, and it's to play Winston Churchill. I went, oh. And it's playing about Harold Macmillan, Jeremy Irons was playing Harold Macmillan. And I said, wow, that's weird. And my kids had almost gone through, sort of all the colleges they were going to go through, so I really had paid all the bills, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. So I stood on a stage at the National Theatre, and I hadn't been on the stage for 17 years, and I was absolutely petrified. And then it all came back, and it was fantastic, and I wish I had done it a lot sooner. But it was from that, doing that theatre job, that I got the Doctor Who job, because they were looking for a Winston Churchill. And if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have got Winston Churchill in Doctor Who, which has led to the convention. So it was really a very good thing I did.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. That's our Q&A with Doctor and Harry Potter. Round of applause, please. Introduce yourselves and who you are in Star Wars, and a little bit about yourselves, please.
Hi, my name is Christopher Patrick Nolan. I played a character called Toshma Jeffkin in Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, in that final scene, escaping Vader with the data plans, the Death Star data plans. Yeah, I'm an actor. You know, been working in theatre, TV, and film for 20 years now, I think. So, yeah, happy to be here and ask me your questions. Introduce Alan.
Alan Harris, extra and stand. I did a bit of theatre, stage management. I never classed myself as an actor. However, it was beneficial to me. On the first Star Wars film, I was sent out to Shepperton. I dressed as a rebel commander and escorting this little actress from America, Karen. And she said, wait here. We went under an X-wing, she said, wait here. I went over to speak to this young American male actor, Mark Hamill. We didn't know who they were. No, not in Britain, we never knew who they were. However, that was that one, and a couple of years later, I was called up to stand in on Empire, Strikes Back, and to stand out for Anthony Daniels. As far as the assistant, they changed assistant director from the first one to the second one. The word was that Anthony was tricky. And so they wanted somebody that worked with stars and got on with them, any trouble. One thing built up and so on. And I have been standing on Superman 1 and 2 for Gene Hackman, who was also the same assistant, tricky actor. So I said, get out. So anyway, so I was on for 5 months, but there were gaps when Anthony was doing it, they would work. So they shoved me in different costumes, and that's how I did all the various things I did. It's down under, body for the carbonate, best thing guard sporting the carbonate on Boba Fett ship. The costume originally for Boba Fett played around as a super trooper in white, but that was written up, so they changed the colour. And then they later called back to standing for Anthony Banks Jedi. And then years later, I don't know, about 10 years later, they called me into standing for Terrence Stamps for Laura on Fanzone. And he went up he goes up mountains as soon as he finishes his dive as well. And they called me in a couple of days to double in his costume for it. 2.5 days, very easy. So that was my Star Wars experience, and I've worked in the film around for 45 years, and I retired at least 15 years ago. And in 5 weeks' time I'll be 80 years old, so I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning ever again to be at a studio or location for 7 o'clock ever.
You can still get in the costume though.
You can. I'm the same weight as I was 44 years ago when I finished Space, the first series of Space 1980. The year of the work. And I'm the same weight as ever. I'm a half stone, the same weight as I was on when I finished that.
Now we got a question from Michael here.
So you both worked on Star Wars at different time periods. How did it change for you? How was the experience?
Well, one in the 70s and one now. Right.
Yeah, I can only say what it was like for me. Obviously, I can't say what it was like in the 70s because I wasn't in that movie, even though Rogue One was kind of set before, which is sort of confusing. It was an amazing experience. I mean, I filmed that sequence just under a week up at Pinewood Studios, which was amazing because it was this massive sound stage, and this whole big long corridor had been built. And just on a movie that size, a 200 million budget movie, there was just so many people, whether it was crew, whether it was pyrotechnics, stuntmen, Darth Vader, obviously myself, and all the crew. So it was a phenomenal experience. It was somewhat overwhelming. I'm quite glad that, because I don't know how it was in Alan's day when they were filming, everything was hush-hush. Like I had to sign non-disclosure forms for literally every single thing that I did from the very beginning. Even when I had an audition for the part, they wouldn't really tell me exactly what the scene was or who it involved or what it was playing. I had to sign everything. I had to go to the audition at Twickenham Studios and be put on tape and filmed. I had to get there early. I had to sign these whole things, and then they gave me bits of script that actually weren't even relevant to the actual filming. They were sort of like mock scripts because they didn't dare give you like the real script, even though you signed all these NDA things. So it was a sort of it was an amazing experience, but it was like you were only fed as much information as and when you needed it. So things started to sort of unfold. Obviously, when I got up to Pinewood and I met with Gareth Edwards, and he literally sort of took me around the set and explained the scene. So I hadn't been given a script or anything. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was sort of realising, it was sort of dawning on me, like this corridor was sort of, you know, in A New Hope. Oh right, okay, connecting to that. You know, I had no idea when it was going to, what part of the movie it was or anything. So, and then each day of filming, they more NDAs, to sign, and as they filtered through bits of script, and there was a lot more dialogue, there was a lot more action, a lot more different things that we filmed for that week. That, you know, like all movies, only 5% at the best sort of ends up in the final cut. So it was thrilling. It was thrilling. You know, I can't speak highly of it. I mean, to have the opportunity to be in a Star Wars movie at all is amazing. I'm a kid, you know, I remember going to the cinema in the 70s, seeing the original one. So, and then to sort of be in with Darth Vader, it's just sort of like, I mean, that's the one thing that my agent sort of got out of the casting director when I accepted the job. I was sort of saying, you know, come on, like, what is it? What am I doing? And basically said they can't tell you anything, but the one thing I will tell you is the scene with Darth Vader. So I kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm in. You got me. You know, it's like, I'll go for it. So, yeah, it was just a privilege, really. So, amazing.
It's really one of the biggest scenes in World War.
Yeah.
Darth Vader just tossing you around.
Yeah.
Like a very physical scene.
Yeah, I had to go for when I did a costume fitting, I had to also go for like what they call a stunt assessment. So I spent a day with the stunt guys, like the stunt instructor guys from Los Angeles, and they'd mocked up like a whole big long corridor basically with boxes and crash mats and stuff, and me and the actor who played Darth Vader, Daniel Napros, basically we kind of choreographed a whole sort of sequence of things he was doing, people he was sort of knocking over, killing, doing stuff, and me sort of escaping, or lots of different stuff that again didn't end up in the final edit. You know, crashing into people, falling over, getting thrown around, tripping over. You know, there's a couple of bits I think in it, but you know, so. You know, they're very thorough in what they do for health and safety as well as just what they wanted to achieve. They, you know, so it was fascinating to see the final edit, and although a lot was gone, which in some ways obviously is disappointing, but I can kind of understand why, because it's sort of like the way that they built the sort of momentum to sort of like that sort of climax at the end of the very end of the movie. It sort of made sense to me that like you just want to keep that sort of energy and tension and everything up. So it was, it made perfect sense. And Gareth Edwards, the director, sort of he was brilliant because he sort of comes from a sort of a documentary kind of background and very sort of stylized, very realistic sort of background, and he does a lot of the camera work himself, like with a sort of a steady camera that you have on his shoulder. And he was brilliant for me as an actor because he said, just improvise, just go for it, just come out with whatever, because he just wanted to capture a really sort of real, sort of like almost war news reports sort of coverage. Do you know what I mean? So it made that scene sort of, I thought, really sort of realistic and urgent and very truthful, do you know what I mean? Because it kind of was, you know, it was just think on your feet, and he just would sort of run around covering it like you would in a sort of, you know, war zone. So it was thrilling, you know, because sometimes filming can be kind of like quite sort of prosaic and sort of you do this, you do that, you know, and this was quite open and free, and that was really enjoyable. So that was my experience on that. Let's hear what Alan has to say.
Have you got any fun then?
Fun?
Yes.
George Lucas, I've never seen him laugh. I've looked 4 times on Fanzone. I've never seen him laugh. And very nice guy. Never seen him, never cut. Not on his scene. I've actually made anyway, laugh, check. And made a laugh, and George his head went like that, sort of thing, anyway, no, what happens on the first one, some of the people take photos of each other and so on. That was, they decided they didn't want that. They wanted to keep it all secret. And so after the first, it went into lockdown, as I say. And they wanted to keep total control of everything and everybody. A couple of things I will not say about Dave, but he was a bit naughty. However, and the assistant directors took control, or the directors on it, who just did the first one, of course. When I went on a set to do this thing with Gary, I thought it was a university student that was standing over there. And lovely, was the director. I think he looked like a teenager for me. However, it got more and more tight. They really wanted to look after him and keep them. Also, there was a story that went out. It was like a Star Wars script. It was made by another company. And that was, it should never have happened. Those sort of things, they frighten people. And especially after the first one was such an enormous success, everybody was terrified it was going to be a total flop. It only cost $10 million. That's all Alan and Matt could put up front for. And goodness, they went. With the franchises and records and so on, how much we made on that first one, but that financed the next one and so on. So they're all big earning money films. As far as the modern ones are concerned, I love every one of them. I didn't enjoy the three that George directed, what we call 1, 2 and 3. It's too much of that digital stuff for me. But once they got on the modern folk films, the latest ones, then I've watched them all. I think they're fantastic. The last one I saw was in Germany. It's like the basement of the sign, all about the place. German part as well. Mönchengladbach. And the guy had a cinema in the basement. And so on Sunday morning, we were all there at 8 o'clock in the morning, watching the latest Star Wars. I love it.
Brilliant. We've got time for one question out the audience. Love you.
This sounds really stupid, but I always wondered, when you were wearing the Rebel helmet, did you ever have to worry about bashing the back of it when you're in the tight corridors? Because I always figured that they'd be like, you know, like
I know, it's a tricky helmet, that one, because it's kind of got that long sort of back to it. It was actually a problem. You asked me a really good question, because sort of stupidly, like the stunt assessment that I was telling you about earlier, we did out of costume. So suddenly when we were in it and got into costume, the back of it, whenever I would fall, and you sort of fall and put your arms out, you get your head up away from the floor, the back would hit on my back and come flying off. So that helmet used to sort of, and they didn't want that. They kind of wanted me to fall and still have the helmet and continue on and fall again, or whatever it was, the whole choreography to it. And it kept on bouncing off and banging off and flying off. So, but you know, the costume department kind of got it down, and they I don't know, I think they padded it out, or they did something. They got it to stay on there so that it wasn't flying off in every shot that I fall over. But it's a good one, because it is tricky, you know. I don't think I had any other costume malfunctions. Everything else was pretty okay.
Costume problems. Because the reason is that you see the guys with the stormtroopers, each piece goes up and stops. Same with the other piece stops there. Okay, you're going to go. What we had was it turned down 45 degrees, so it looked as though they were all linked up and you can get all pulley through. So that's cutting into everywhere on your body. It was cutting into you. You couldn't walk, you couldn't stand still. It's impossible to run. I mean, we tried running once and somebody fell over. Bashed his head on the doorway. Anyway, it was the worst costume I've ever worn on Stormtrooper. 3 times on Empire and twice on Jedi. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. Those are the things.
Round of applause, please, for Jason, our Power Ranger.
Now, Jason, we're not actually allowed to talk about Power Rangers with you today, are we?
No.
So let's talk about your hat instead.
This hat was passed down by generations. This is actually, I tour with Vanilla Ice. I've been touring with him for like 3-4 years now. And it's actually Cupid with a machine gun, and it's his logo. That's his logo that he puts on all his t-shirts, his background things. So I wear it.
So Cupid has got more equipped with the modern day weaponry than bow and arrow.
Yeah, because I think the story he gave behind it was the regular Cupid with a bow and arrow just shoots one person. This Cupid is able to shoot everybody at one time with love and happiness.
A shower of bullets with love goes and everyone adores it. So what's it like touring with Vanilla Ice?
It's really fun. You know, people think that it's this extravagant, cool thing to be backstage. It is, it's cool. But a lot of people don't know that when the concert ends at midnight, sometimes we got to get up at 4 or 5 in the morning to go to the next city. Because his tour isn't like from city to city like a normal tour is. We actually do something pretty amazing, and that's go from one point and fly like thousands of miles to the next point the next day. So sometimes our flight the next day is like 4 or 5 hours to the next city.
So you don't party on all night like the whole rock and roll lifestyle?
We're very clean cut and we have fun. And,
have you ever thought about throwing a TV out of a window?
Sometimes. There was a time where he had a concert in Anchorage, Alaska. I had to be in El Paso, Texas the next day. It took me 13 hours and 3 flights, leaving the concert at midnight from Anchorage. And 3 flights later, I was in El Paso at 3 p.m. That was 3 long flights.
So how does one get to be involved with another like Vanilla Ice?
It takes a lot of money and a lot of bribery.
So you paid for it, everyone said, please take me along.
Actually, back in 2014, I had bought, well actually prior to that, so backstory, I had somebody make me a Ninja Turtle van. I'm a big Ninja Turtle fan. And so I bought this VW bus, and I paid a bunch of guys, because I have no idea how to do this stuff, to make me the party wagon. So I thought I was a cool kid on the block. I would drive it around everywhere. And I was always missing the Ninja Turtle riding next to me shotgun. So there were no good costumes at the time. And this Comic-Con happened in LA where I'm from. And it's a Comic-Con that I couldn't actually go to because I was busy doing something else. And thank God for Facebook, because all my friends saw this guy in a costume with it looked like the old 90s movie, right? The costume with the rubber latex. And it took me a day to basically stalk him. And I got his name, I messaged him, I go, hey man, how much do you want for that suit? And 2 weeks later I had a Michelangelo rubber suit.
And there's a guy walking around naked now because you took his suit off him.
That's right. No, but he actually made a lot of the suits that are out in the world today that people have for cosplay. And so I had that suit for a couple months, and a guy in Texas actually was having his birthday party. And his birthday party wish was to have Vanilla Ice and the Turtles perform on stage for the first time since the movie had happened back in 1990. And so he hired me to be in the suit with Vanilla Ice. And that's how I met Vanilla Ice. And now we're friends to this day. I still tour with him. And I was on his Home Improvement show last year. So I was in Florida, flying back and forth from LA, doing that every couple weeks.
I've not seen this Home Improvement show. What's it called?
It's called the Vanilla Ice Project. I believe this is season 8, which starts in a couple months. I was on 3 seconds of the season 7 out of all the weeks that I filmed there, all the footage. It was funny because I come from a TV background and I see how everything goes and what doesn't get used. And to actually be on this construction show and actually work and dig and you know, move stuff, heavy stuff, for weeks on end.
It sounds exhausting.
It was. I was getting bit by the mosquitoes that they call in Florida can't see them, because you can't see them. And it's actually an insect, because on the repellent it says repels can't see them. And I was all like lined up with stuff because I was wearing shorts and stuff like that.
So are you still got the Michelangelo turtle suit with you?
I still have it back home. I have at one time I had 12 suits because I was doing conventions and baseball games and mall appearances all over the country. But I let 8 of them go, and so I still have 4. I have the original 4 that I started with. So they probably kind of look like most of the costumes that I've ever worn in my life.
I'm not supposed to talk about Power Rangers, but do you own any Power Ranger memorabilia from the shows?
Probably the coolest thing that I own that I was able to have was I have 2 crew jackets. So I have an original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers crew jacket, and I have a Power Rangers in Space crew jacket. Those are probably the 2 coolest things I own right now.
So any big plans this year?
I'm actually opening up a pop-up bar with my girlfriend back home in LA. I can't divulge too much, but I will say that it's going to be different from anything that's out there. We're constantly talking, and we hope to be open in a couple weeks. I also own a little ice cream truck back home, so that's cool. Me and my girlfriend own an ice cream truck. And the cool thing about the ice cream truck is that it's an old mail truck from like 1970s. But back home, those mail trucks, and even today the mail trucks they drive, like you guys drive over here on the right side. They're in on the right.
The correct side.
No. I still have issues when we're driving like, hey. But so I get to drive, like I'm in London on that ice cream truck.
Right, have we got any questions from our guests?
I have a feeling you know what I'm going to ask. It's going to be Power Rangers related. I'm a super fan. I can't help it. Do you have any... how did you get to be the suit actor for Babu, or one of the suit actors? How did you get into doing that role?
I got it the Peter Weller way. I was skinny. You know who Peter Weller is? Peter Weller was the original RoboCop, if you don't know who that was, back in the 80s. And even though he did have acting talent, and I didn't, it was basically the same thing. All the actors that they found for RoboCop back in the day, sorry for the sideline, but they were too big, and you had to be really skinny, like a C-3PO guy, to be in the RoboCop outfit. And basically the same thing happened with Babu. I started out as an extra. I'm one of those very few exceptions that I was on set every day as an extra, pretty much, in the beginning. And one day the guy that was in the Babu suit got sick. And they went through everybody. There was 30 juice bar people there, right? So 15 girls, 15 guys. But the girls couldn't do it, and the guys were too buff. And I was that little scrawny kid in the back that I really didn't care. If I was an actor, I was basically there for the money, which at the time I thought was, before I got into being an extra, I thought it was a lot of money. But then once I was doing it, I was like, it's not a lot of money, but it's still cool. It was Power Rangers, because I was also a fan before I went on the show, right? And for them to call me up and say, hey, well, what about you? And I put that thing on and like, that's it, you're Babu. You're Babu today, and whenever else we need you. And that's how it started. I was thin. Now I'm not so thin. I try to go on diets, and that doesn't work. So it's a real simple story. Nothing, you know, too extreme.
So that was your first big break then to this?
Actually, yeah, to Power Rangers, yeah.
Any more questions for our lovely Jason? Come on, don't be shy. Can we do...
You can ask about it.
Oh, right. Can we hear you say Morphin Time?
I don't know. I didn't actually ever say Morphin Time.
Didn't you? Oh. Well, do you want to say it now? This could be a big moment. Drum roll, please.
I gotta wait for you. You ready? This is Babu saying Morphin Time, okay? It's Morphin Time!
Now, have you seen the new movie that they brought out the other years? What's your impression on that?
Well, if you pause it at a certain point when the Red Ranger's walking in the storage or the gymnasium room, my friend told me about this, so I didn't know prior, but the Babu toy is actually in the background on the shelf. So that's pretty cool for me. You know, so if you have to pause it, you watch by too quick for you to see it otherwise.
Is there any way to get loyalty on that? Like royalty?
I currently have to pay them for me to talk about it, so it's like, I can't get up to them.
Oh, right, yes, I can see, but you probably backed up a massive bill today.
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
How many times have I said Mighty Morphin? I probably owe like $100.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Jason. It's been a delight to talk to you.
Oh, by the way, this is my first con in the UK. So I've been to the UK before as a tourist, but this is actually my first con. So thank you, Tonbridge, for letting me out.
It's been brilliant. Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
Can I just say that Jason's doing a professional photo shoot at 2:15, so come over here to book, and as you can tell, he's fantastic.
We can do a Ninja Turtle pose, or we can do a Vanilla Ice pose, or we can do the Power Ranger pose. I'll be Babu though, okay?
The Power Ranger pose will cost more money though.
Round of applause.
There you go. Thank you.